Do you want me to go now?
Nope, it's good. It says live. Okay. Hi, everybody.
There we are.
Welcome back to Facebook Friday.
Let's try this again. Take 2. It hasn't even been a minute yet.
I know. All right. So it said that we couldn't go live a minute ago because some issue about the Wi-Fi, you know, like usual. Because apparently 8 o'clock on Friday is like a popular time to do things on Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. So anyway, we're here. Hi.
Okay, so tonight we are talking about the Food and Wine Festival, which runs from August 31st. So yesterday was the very first day of the Food and Wine Festival. But before we go there, we're going to touch on a little bit of news that happened this week throughout Disney World and possibly Disneyland. You have Disneyland news?
Yep.
So the first item, which, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Toy Story Land is coming to Hollywood Studios in the summer of 2018. Yay! And this week, the Slinky Dog vehicle has been delivered.
I am so excited!
Do you know how big of a grin I got on my face when I saw the Slinky Dog?
And it's literally, it looks like Slinky Dog. Like, it's, if you didn't see it, like, it's like a sausage dog, and it actually has links in it. Like, it's so cute.
If you have not seen it, you must YouTube this or go to one of our pages because we posted it. Because
check it out, it looks amazing.
Oh my gosh, I'm just even so much more.
It's hard to tell what the track is really like because, of course, they're not showing it from like all sides and all dimensions, and we have no concept really of how high it is, but it looks like a really nice, like, beginner intermediate coaster.
Yes.
Like, not like Barnstormer where it's going to be over in 5 seconds, but it looks very family friendly.
Yes,
so I'm
absolutely.
excited about it.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Because I don't ride scary coasters. I don't like scary ones. I hate Space Mountain. That's way too scary.
Another item this week, we'll go with Minnie's Hollywood and Dine.
Starting up.
Yes, starting up September 4th.
Oh, it's September. Oh, okay.
Yes, so September 4th through November the 5th.
So Labor Day.
Right. So what we mean by that is at Hollywood and Vine at Hollywood Studios for lunch and for dinner, Minnie Mouse and her friends will be your hosts for dinner that evening.
And they're dressed in their Halloween attire, right?
Yes. I know, how cute.
Melts.
I know. But breakfast, just to let everyone know, breakfast is still your Disney Junior characters of Doc McStuffins, Handy Manny, Jake and the Neverland Pirates, and Sophia the First.
That's right.
And I believe they're...
And that's the only place to find them. So
yes.
You need to do that dinner. If you've got a Disney Junior fan in your household, that you want to schedule that breakfast.
Yes.
It's your reason to go to Hollywood Studios right now.
Yes. But for lunch and dinner is the Minnie's Halloween and Dine. Definitely get you into the fall spirit. And, you know, it's pretty fun.
Definitely. And then I guess after November 4th, they'll switch that over to Christmas, like almost immediately. So that's a really fun holiday treat. And what are they doing in there with those characters? Do you remember what they're doing with them and not Halloween and Christmas? Are they...
Well, like in spring, I know I've seen pictures and Minnie's in a floral dress
so they're all
springtime.
They're dressed up every season to reflect what's going on in the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the food, not necessarily changes, but they put a theming to the food as well, such as for Halloween or during the fall time, they'll have more like a pumpkin dessert and they'll do fun things with the kids' food.
They do things with the naming of the food there.
Exactly.
That's really fun.
So the food's the same, but they kind of do a little bit of a twist to make it more fun. And like, oh my gosh, at Christmas time they do gingerbread. It was really good. Really, really good.
We've only ever been there for the Star Wars, when they had the Mickey characters dressed up as Star Wars characters.
Fun.
My gosh, cutest thing ever. And the food was really good.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Hollywood and Vine. I really am. I know there's a lot of...
I've heard people refer to this restaurant as Hollywood and Vile. And that it's just crappy second-rate buffet food.
I don't agree at all.
We've only been there for the Star Wars meal, but I thought it was good. I enjoyed the food. The variety was interesting without being weird. So,
and I will say too, for the children's section of the buffet, which the children can always eat at any part of a buffet, but what is considered the children's section, probably has the largest variety of a buffet, and we've visited all but maybe 2 character meals on Disney properties, so it's definitely one of our family favorites.
Character meal connoisseur.
I won't go that far, but
I gotta ramp up my character meal, because we usually avoid them because we usually pay cash instead of using the dining plan. So if you're not on the dining plan, character meals are pretty pricey. Yeah. So that's definitely, that's a discussion I always have with people. I'm like, look, are you doing character dining? Because if you are, you need to be on the dining plan, or you're going to look at the bill at the end of the day and you're going to be like, I paid that for that? Are you serious?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, that's definitely something I always talk about too. The dining plan to get the most bang for your buck, absolutely throw in all the character meals you can.
Mm-hmm. Every character meal, every buffet.
Yes.
Because those are going to run you $40-ish plus a piece for adults.
Yeah, I mean, Chef Mickey's is up to $65, I think.
Ooh.
For an adult for dinner. So I'm just to throw that out there.
Yeah. And let's not even talk about Cinderella's royal table.
No.
But that's 2 credits, so that one's one of those I don't encourage people to do, whether they're on the dining plan paying cash. I don't care what you're doing. Yes. There are better experiences for the money. So we have a couple of closures to talk about, just to keep people in the know, because we have a few big ones out there right now. Splash Mountain is going down on August 28th and will be down through November 16th.
Yes. So
just FYI, be aware, if you're going this fall, you're not riding Splash Mountain. You may want to take in a water park instead, because you're not going to get an opportunity to do Splash.
I'm really anxious to see what they're doing, because that is a lengthy refurbishment, for sure. I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they taking all the characters out and dusting them, or what?
I don't know.
Shining them up a little bit.
It's a really long time.
If anybody gets any behind the scenes intel there, let us know. Let us know what's going on. And on the theme of water rides that are down, I read a post this week from someone who was very, very upset that one of the water parks was going to be closed during their stay. And did everybody think if they called Disney and told them that they were paying for 6 parks but only getting 5, if Disney would refund some of their money? No, it won't. I mean, your days are your days are billed by number of days of tickets. Disney does not care which parks you go to on which days. As such, all parks might not be available on all days. Just like they will not give you a refund if you are trying to go to Magic Kingdom on a day that there's a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party or a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party. When you arrive at the park that day, the time that the park closes is going to be posted. If you choose to ignore that information and go in anyway, they are not giving you any money back because your day was shorter. They can't. They simply can't. This is an annual thing. Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are open both together for 6 months during the year. N class, when do we think those 6 months probably are? Summertime. It's April to October. It's when it's hot out. And you might want to go to a water park. To be real, you're not going to spend that much time at the water parks between October and April. Because, honestly, even in Florida, it can get a little bit chilly. So the parks they do have a scheduled closure every year, for which I would implore you to thank Disney for, because during that scheduled closure, they drain everything and they bleach the ever-loving crap out of the rides. So thank you, Disney, for shutting down the water parks for annual maintenance. Yes. We all appreciate it. Most of us. There's one person posting somewhere that doesn't. So anyway, this year, the closures, Blizzard Beach will be closed from October 29th through January 6th.
Okay.
And Typhoon Lagoon's closure is January 7th through a time to be determined. It's usually sometime in March. So if you're traveling in the latter half of the year, early part of next year, and you do have a ticket that includes water parks, just be aware you'll only be able to use one or the other. That being said, they're both really fun parks.
Right.
If you don't get to do the one, do the other one, and you'll have a fantastic time. It's really, enjoy yourself. It's nice. I think that's it with closure related. Did you have anything?
Well, I just wanted to add one thing. When Holly mentioned about getting to the parks and realizing that it's a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party or a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party, to toot our own horns, and for all the agents at the Magic Shores Travel, that's why you have us, so we can tell you that on a particular day you don't want to go to Magic Kingdom. If you don't want to have, if you don't want to have to leave early, we will definitely be there to advise you of the dates of those parties. So
I just had this conversation with somebody this week. Actually, they had 5 days of park tickets. 3 of those nights were Mickey's Not So Scary nights. And they wanted to go to Magic Kingdom 2 days. I was like, whew, we just barely sneaked that in.
Yeah. So that's another, advantage to letting us hold your hand while we plan a Disney trip for you.
Right. And that's not to say that we're completely infallible and we can catch every single thing. Because it's, realize that this is a, 43 square mile property or something? 22,000 acres or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it is. And it's ever changing.
It's ever changing, literally. Like we get emails from Disney about 3 to 4 times a week with 4 new things that have changed this week. So when we're saying we're going to be able to hold your hand and watch out for landmines, we can, but we do also hope that you stay engaged and involved in the process. And if you see something and you're not sure if it applies to your trip, ask us, and we'll be happy. If we don't know the answer right up front, we're very happy to research it for you. We have really good channels to find the information you need pretty quickly.
Yes.
So, we're always happy to verify anything that you read on the internet because, as we all know, thanks, Vicky. She likes my shirt. Gosh, I don't know where I got it. my shirt happens to have come from the LuLaRoe party that Amy and Vicky hosted last weekend, so that's right. That's what's going on here.
But my favorite saying is the only constant is change. With many things in life, but especially with
definitely
Disney.
with the Disney vacation. For example, Hall of Presidents was supposed to open in June.
Right.
And there was a last-minute change, and it has something to do with President Trump making a speech now where he wasn't going to have a speaking role before, and there are advisors who have to talk to Imagineers who have to work everything out, and now the date is still sitting at to be determined, and here we are in September.
Right.
The man's going to be out of office before there's a speech written and the attraction reopens. Because
I'm okay with that.
So, for those of you who are big history buffs and have been waiting anxiously for Hall of Presidents to come back online, or for those of you who, like me, enjoy a nap in the middle of the afternoon in the air conditioning, we have a little longer to wait. So... Also in Disney news this week, Beauty and the Beast will be premiering on the Dream in November. So that I believe we decided is replacing Golden Mickey's.
I think so.
I think that's at least that's on our wish list. We're pretty sure that's right. Maybe I had the same thought.
Anyway. I got that too.
Go ahead.
So this was just announced, or on one of our email feeds today, was the newest Enchanted Extra. Looks really, really cool. The Ultimate Nights of Adventure VIP Tour at Animal Kingdom Park. Yeah. And it's a 4-hour tour that will take you through the transition of day into night. And so you get to see all the critters from day into night.
Because they're different animals.
Right. So you have your nocturnal animals coming to life.
Like painted hyenas or painted dogs, African painted dogs, and the hyenas are out at night, and
the lions
might actually do something at night besides just sit there on the rock and sleep.
Right. So you will have your own tour guide for those 4 hours, and you also have access to certain fast passes. They didn't tell us.
We're thinking it's the Safari Fast Pass. We're kind of feeling like it's probably not Fast Passes for Pandora unless this is like a $400 tour.
Yeah. And that's there were no prices listed at this time.
That's a bad sign.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we're going with that. So, but definitely looks very, very interesting, especially for those animal lovers out there. Be a really cool tour.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be into that. Other tours at Animal Kingdom, they do a night safari. If you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. So another really good reason to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge and to maybe do not necessarily a park every day. Like, I think Animal Kingdom Lodge is a really great place if you want to do the relaxing Disney vacation and maybe do a park every other day, or take a day or two off in between and do a pool day and hang out at the resort, because they have like drumming classes there for the kids, and they've got the nighttime safari. And even if you don't want to do the safari because it is extra, you can go down and look through the night vision goggles for free and look at the animals out on the savannah. So
that's pretty awesome.
That's another really good way to experience the animals. And there are several, I don't even want to tell you what they are. The tours, the existing tours in Animal Kingdom, because I know there was a change not too long ago, and one of the tours was discontinued, and I don't remember which one it was. So, yeah, it was actually probably a while ago, but I still don't have it like back on my. If it was, I can't remember if it was Wild Africa Trek, if that's the one that stayed or the one that went.
Okay.
And they also do a Dine with an Imagineer over there, where you can meet an animal specialist and talk to them and have lunch with them. So, a lot of really cool opportunities if you want to know more about the animals. A lot of different options to learn about them. Yep. So, Wild Africa Trek. I'm gonna do this new one. Okay. Do you know, Melissa? Do you know if the Wild Africa Trek is the one that stayed or the one that went? I think there was like a sunrise. There was a sunrise safari. There was Wild Africa, and I think there was another one. And I just haven't looked at them in a while, and I don't remember which one's which. So if you know,
let us know.
Trek is still available. Thank you. Okay, so Trek is still good.
Well, we just talked about closures. Did we talk about Chef Mickey's?
No, we didn't. Hang on, back to closures.
Yeah, back to closures. Sorry, guys. Chef Mickey's, they're not closing, but they are relocating during kitchen renovations. So from November 28th through a date that has not been disclosed yet,
sometime in December.
Chef Mickey's, if you have a reservation, it will still be there. You will just be dining at the convention center part of the Contemporary. So there will be cast members available to direct you into the location where you need to go. Same characters, same food, just a different location.
And we don't know yet if this is a 3-day or a 3-week kind of thing.
Right. So
Amy's got her fingers and toes crossed for 3 days because she's got a reservation there in December. So
December 3rd, I'll be there at Chef Mickey's. So hopefully it's a short one. Because it was supposed to go down late summer.
Clean in the kitchen.
I don't know. Maybe. It was supposed to go down late summer, and it was only going to be down for a couple of days. Not just initially down, just relocating it while it's working in the kitchen. So we'll see. But anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll at least have it decorated nice or something. Yeah.
That is all the news that I have.
Speaking of restaurants, Magical Dining Month is a thing in Orlando, just like we have Restaurant Week here.
Yes.
Magical Dining Month is September, and there are Disney restaurants on the schedule for the first time ever. So as part of this celebration, the month of September, you can get 3 courses for $35, including an appetizer, entree, and dessert. Mm-hmm. And this is available at Boatwright's, Grand Floridian Cafe, Jico, Olivia's, Turf Club, and the Wave of American Flavors. So they're all resort dining, and really almost everywhere except for the area right around the boardwalk. All of the other resort areas have something going on. So...
And Boatwright's, we dined there 2 years ago, and I definitely feel as though that is a restaurant that is overlooked. It was very, very good. Very good. I got an amazing chocolate cake dessert there that was to die for. It was delicious. But
I have a kind of a funny story about being overwhelmed at Disney.
Uh-oh.
you should say Boatwright's, right?
Boatwright's, okay.
Yeah. So, I have a memory of walking into Boatwright's and sitting down. I can't remember if we actually ate there or not.
My word.
Because it was when we first started going to Disney, and we were just like deer in headlights and had no idea what we were doing. And I remember going in there to sit down, and I think we thought we were at the quick service, but we weren't.
Oh,
okay. I think we got up and left and went to the quick service, but I can't remember. I almost kind of feel like maybe we had a meal there. I'm really not sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So yeah.
You needed your future self to help you along.
I know, I really did. I really did. Our first 2 trips, wow, we were definitely struggling. It was hard. And this is another good point why you should call us, because we were 2 trips in at that point. I had gone 3 times, twice as a kid. We went on our honeymoon, and then this was our first real we're adults trip. And we'd already made very many mistakes on our honeymoon, including trying to go to the Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve. I mean, so we should have known better by this point. I actually read the guidebook cover to cover this trip, and it still wasn't enough. I still needed somebody to hold my hand and be like, honey, no, do this instead.
Oh my goodness.
So, take advantage of our missteps.
We've already made the mistakes.
Yes. Isn't that the thing? You should learn from other people's mistakes because you can't live long enough to make them all yourself.
Right.
You can't travel long enough to make them all yourself.
Right.
Let us help you.
Right. And so, along those lines, never go to Food and Wine on the very last day of
Speaking of Food and Wine.
Yeah.
So, and you're not a big fan of Food and Wine at the moment.
Right, I'm not. But I will preface it by saying I'm not into much wine or other alcoholic beverages for that matter. And the food, as it is delicious, anytime I've gone, the lines have been long. But with that being said,
they do move quickly. Learning
from my mistakes, we've gone on the weekends, which you don't do at Food and Wine, and we went on the very last day of Food and Wine, which you don't ever do. So
first day and last day are pretty bad because the first day, everybody who writes a travel blog and is within spitting distance of Orlando will be in the parks. They will be trying to eat everything. They'll be trying to film everything, take photos of everything, and they're going to be in your way.
Yes.
So let them do the legwork the first couple days the festival's open. Go read all their stuff and then go like a week later. Yeah. It's a better strategy.
And it's very much a locals attraction. The locals hit Food and Wine hard. I love it. Yes. So that's why I just stay away from Food and Wine on the weekends.
Wine and Dine, Melissa, I think is the weekend before the last weekend. I think it's Wine and Dine and then Food and Wine goes for the rest of that week. Don't quote me on that, but I'm
not sure.
I'm like 70% sure on that.
But so, yeah, I mean, and this is another reason to maybe possibly if you're deciding between a hopper and not a hopper type of a thing.
Hop.
It would be a great idea to hit Epcot during the day, then get out of town.
Lunchtime, it's great.
Right.
Yeah, lunchtime it's really good, and we typically will do that if we're going to be down during Food and Wine or Flower and Garden because it's really kind of a similar kind of situation. To go over to Epcot, we do Future World in the morning, hit lunch, and then we go hightail it to another park.
Then check out.
Right.
Check out and go to another park in the evening. Yeah.
The only time I would say maybe it's worth dealing with the crowds is if it's super, super hot. Because Epcot in the World Showcase has like zero shade.
Yeah.
So by 11 o'clock, you're roasting if you're walking around the World Showcase.
Yes.
And definitely heat plus alcohol. No, don't do it.
Not a good combo.
Especially if you're from the north and it's starting to get cool here and you go down in November and it's 150 degrees and 700% humidity. Don't be drinking alcohol, 11 shots in a row and think that you're going to survive. Because you're not. I don't care if you think you're Superman. You're not going to make it. Just pace yourself.
So Food and Wine this year, as we said in the beginning of the broadcast, is October 31st through November the 13th. It's running for 75 days this year. It's actually extended this year longer than years past. And maybe because it's the 35th anniversary or maybe because they just wanted to extend the time of the crowds. I'm not exactly sure.
I think they're trying to space it out a little more and earn more revenue from it because they know there are locals who will come back over and over and over again throughout the course of the event. And Melissa just told it, 31st through the 13th, but Wine and Dine is the weekend before that, the 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I think. I think we were talking about that the other day, I'm pretty sure that's right.
And if you're unfamiliar, if you've never been to Epcot yet, and are planning a trip to Epcot, what their
35 booths for 35 years.
Yes. Can you imagine that?
That's nuts.
Yes. So that's all I said. There's 35 individual marketplaces where you can purchase food and or drinks of any type of the nationality that you are visiting, I guess.
And visiting very briefly, some of them. There's no big pavilion. You just got a booth.
Yeah. So it's not a lot of options typically. It's usually like 3 or 4 food items and maybe 3 or 4 craft beers, wines, other spirits that are offered. And we were talking earlier tonight. Holly said if you get one item,
Dining
food item,
plan. Yeah.
you can use a snack credit.
Yeah. The only one that as I was looking through the list today, I think the only one I saw that you couldn't do that was the, there's a cheese plate or a wine and cheese plate. That was the only one that had food that you couldn't use a snack credit on because of the wine.
Yeah.
And that's for 2017. For 2018, maybe. I don't know. That'll remain to be seen.
Yes, so anything that includes alcohol, you will not be able to use a dining credit for the year of 2017.
Right.
So, and then if you choose 3 food items at the same kiosk, the same marketplace, you can actually use a quick service meal credit. So that's pretty awesome.
It really is, because let's say for example I wanted to go to
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say for example that I wanted to go to the Almond Orchard hosted by Blue Diamond Almond Breeze, which is new this year.
Mm-hmm.
They have a California. This is actually a terrible example. In fact, let's switch it because that's not a good show of how great of a deal this can actually be for you. Let's see. You can't do it in Canada because they only have 2 offerings.
Okay.
Silly. Let's say I wanted to go to. Of course, now I can't find one. When I was doing this afternoon, it was all working perfectly.
Well, here's a ring. Go ahead.
Okay, Coastal Eats. You can get a lump crab cake with Napa cabbage, slaw, and avocado lemongrass cream, and I can speak, cream for $5. You can get a baked shrimp scampi dip with sourdough baguette for $5.50, and seared scallops with roasted corn and butterbean succotash and chili chipotle butter sauce for $6. So that's $16.50, and you can use a counter service credit.
Right.
I can use that same counter service credit to go over to Casey's Corner and order a hot dog for $9.59 and a $3 Coke.
Right.
So I can either get $12.59 of value at Casey's Corner, or I can get $16.50 in value at Food and Wine.
Right.
I would go to Food and Wine, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a great way if you're uncertain about trying new things and you don't want to sit down and order an entire course of a meal that you're like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this.
Right.
It'd be nice to be able to try something small.
And you can, okay, let's get back to the almonds.
Okay, yeah.
I'm excited about the Almond Breeze. I'm actually going to go to Food and Wine. But we weren't planning to go. We were going to be there in October. And we weren't going to go to Epcot at all because we were actually going for a tour and the Headless Horseman thing. And we decided to get a park ticket at the last minute, which turned into an annual pass, which I just
don't
sucks
ask,
up my life.
Don't ask.
So at the almond place, they have the cauliflower risotto with pulled chicken, artichoke, spinach, and Parmesan cream cheese.
Oh.
No, Parmesan cheese with aged balsamic. It's $4.75 or a Disney Dining Plan snack. So, would you ever necessarily try cauliflower risotto?
No, I would not.
That was coming out a cross between California and Colorado, and I couldn't find the one that was a vegetable.
Oh my god.
They're also doing a banana almond soft serve sundae with fresh berries and crunchy chocolate oats.
Oh, yes.
I want one.
Yes, please.
I want 2.
Yeah,
actually.
I will sign up for that. Can we get 3 of the same thing?
Actually, I think you can, and as long as it's 3 items from the same booth. But that one's only $4.50.
Okay, so that's not good.
So then you're back to $9.50 plus. It's still a little better than the Casey's Corner hot dog.
Yeah,
but not by much.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else in general? Oh, do we want to talk about the concert series?
Yes.
Anything else general, and then we'll kind of go through a brief booth by booth.
Yeah. So another thing to add would be if there is bad weather, the marketplaces they will close for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even try to put on the poncho and head on out to.
No, you can put on the poncho and head to Future World and go into Sunshine Seasons and get yourself some all kinds of random different great food in there, but not Food and Wine.
Well, and also the I would call it a convention area, but the festival area that will still
be running. So you can still get your Ghirardelli drinking chocolate.
Right.
Go get some for real, but share it with a friend because it's really rich. And the craft beers will, as long as it's in the Odyssey Center again, it will stay open because it's under roof. But guess where everyone will be?
the same
lined
place.
up at craft beers.
Exactly.
So you got to get there earlier. You might as well go find a different spot to eat.
Yep. So along with Food and Wine, they always have a concert series.
Eat to the beat.
Exactly. They actually have 3 shows a night, and there's no extra charge for this, which is
great.
really cool.
Yeah.
So they have a 5:30, a 6:45, and an 8 o'clock showtime.
And you can usually, like, even if you can't walk up and sit down, like, you can hear the music in the American Adventure Pavilion.
Exactly.
So you don't have to necessarily do the Eat to the Beat dining package.
Right.
Unless it's like your favorite band ever and you have to be in the front row.
Exactly.
That's the only way. That's the only reason to do it.
Like Sugar Ray. No, I'm just kidding.
Like Boyz II Men.
So this year there's going to be 32 artists, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the names on the list, this is not all of them, obviously. Some of them, Kenny G, 10,000 Maniacs, Boyz II Men, Tiffany, remember her? Yes.
I did see that. Yes.
Hanson.
Oh,
Hanson,
God.
Taylor Dane, Everclear, Sugar Ray. The list goes on and on and on.
I have a friend who often watches this podcast. So Amy Roberts, hi, if you're watching, she loves Hanson. It's like her favorite band, and she got so excited the first year they were out. Like it almost made me like the band, because I was like so sucked in by her enthusiasm.
Well, she can go to Food and Wine.
Yep, she does. Usually, like every year, it's like a pilgrimage to go see them.
Hanson is there.
I hope so. I hope it works out for you.
So there is a full listing on the Walt Disney World website if you're interested in the exact dates of a particular artist.
True story.
So, do we want to talk
booths?
about the booths or all of the extra happenings that happen?
Let's go extras first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
there are all kinds of seminars.
yes. And if we could just back up for 1 second, back to the booths, I'm sorry. And
we do talk about this before we go on the air, guys, we swear.
one thing that I preach to people is when you enter any park, pick up a map and a times guide. It doesn't matter if you've been there 50 times. Pick up a map and a times guide.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll be wrong.
And the times constantly change. I shouldn't say constantly. They do change a lot.
I've done that to myself like probably 5 times where I've been, and usually it happens with fireworks, and I'll be like, Wishes is at 10. So I need to be at top of the world by like 9:15 if I want a table to watch Wishes. And some nights we'll go up and I'm like, wow, it's really deserted tonight. I'm like, that's because fireworks happened 20 minutes ago.
And another example would be parades.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for one reason or another, the parade's timing will change.
I believe the 3 o'clock parade has made the switch now to the 2 o'clock parade.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say if there's a special event happening at Magic Kingdom, they do change the time of the nighttime parade, or the daytime parade, because that has happened to us.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen it happen at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
When they were doing Christmas parade taping, they bumped the regular day parade.
That's when we were there.
Yep.
So, it is not an unusual question to ask, when is the 3 o'clock parade? Because it may or may not be
really
at
need to find
3
out.
o'clock.
Yeah.
But along those lines, you will also have a festival passport. And
it's so much fun.
Yes. So, but inside this passport, it will show you a listing of what is inside each of the marketplaces, what you'll find to eat, what you'll find to drink, where you'll find it around the world, and then you also get stickers to put in your passport.
They used to do stamps, so it used to be a thing where you could take your passport up, and the people at the food kiosk would stamp it for you, and it would have the symbol of that country for the for their festival. So each country has like a logo, and I guess 2 years ago, they started doing, you have a sticker sheet in the back, and now it's on you to apply the stickers. And, well, the stamp was really cool because it was like the old passport stamp thing. I really like that they went to the stickers because it frees up the time in the line, and people would forget to get their stamp, and then they're coming back and trying to butt in line just to get a stamp, and the people behind them get mad, and the cashiers are busy, and it was just like, it was chaos. So I think that was a good change.
Yeah. So definitely pick up your passport when you go in. They have the passports also for Flower and Garden, which is really cool too because it explains a little bit about all the topiaries around.
Right.
So, but that's about something else. So on to the seminars and such. There are quite a few seminars.
And popular things are wine, cheese, wine pairing,
how to make your own wine,
how to mix wine, how to
make your own craft
drink
beers.
wine standing on your head, how to do. I mean, there are a lot of. You get where we're going here.
Right.
Don't they do a cake?
I didn't see.
Are they doing that this year?
I did not see a cake.
Okay, I think there was a cake making, cake decorating, something of that nature. I just like to eat the food. I've never done a seminar because I'm just like I just want to go to the booths and eat.
Yeah, well,
I want to cook. I can do that at home.
Some of these seminars are pretty awesome, and a few of them actually involve celebrity chefs, which I would be so down for. A few years ago, even Olivia, and at the time was 4 years old, we would sit and watch cooking shows, and I would just love to sit in a demonstration with a celebrity chef, get to eat what they are making, and learn a few things along the way. Actually, I'll just talk about that one right now. It's called Eat, Drink, and Ask Questions. So it's a demonstration, a question and answer, and you get a plated breakfast. It's just select dates, Fridays through Sundays during Food and Wine. It's $129 plus tax and gratuity. Some examples of the celebrity chefs are Alex Garnaschelli, Art Smith.
Not my dad.
Jamie Dean, y'all. Jeffrey Zarkarian, Robert Irvine. I would love to meet Robert Irvine. Kat Cora, Carla Hall.
I know none of these people.
You know any of these people? Oh my gosh.
I know Kat Cora because she has a restaurant at Disney.
Yes.
And I know Art Smith because he has a restaurant at Disney Springs. So, like, if you don't have a restaurant and it's at Disney, I don't know who you are.
And the Cake Boss is also going to be there.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I thought there was a cake thing. Probably because I saw the Cake Boss.
Yeah. Well, he might make a cake. I'm not really sure. But you get to see live demonstrations. You get to taste from the chefs themselves. I just think that sounds totally amazing. I would be down for that.
Now I'm sold. Let's go.
I know. That sounds like so
I'm
much
excited
fun.
about it. But they do chocolate ones too, right? They do
yes. So
chocolate wine pairing or
at the chocolate experience from bean to bar is what they call it.
Yeah, there's not really a demonstration that goes on in there.
Hosted by Ghirardelli. And there's chocolate sculptures. There's samples of chocolate. There
There's drinking chocolate.
Yes. And there's wine and chocolate pairings.
Like, you know how coffee has espresso? Like, this is hot chocolate's answer to espresso.
Word.
They take a candy bar, dark chocolate candy bar, and they just melt it down and make it chocolatier. And then you drink it, and it's amazing.
So I have a little story I was telling Holly about before we went on the air. Last week we talked about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and going trick-or-treating. Well, my dad actually kind of sort of went trick-or-treating at Ghirardelli by accident and walked away with an entire bag of Ghirardelli chocolate squares. And we got separated somehow or another, and we met back up in front of the fountains at Epcot, and my dad was holding this very large bag stuffed as full as you could possibly stuff it, full of Ghirardelli chocolates. And I was like, what are you doing with all this chocolate? How are you going to eat all this? And he's like, but they just gave it to me.
That's for me to worry about.
So here, like I said, we were there the very, very last night of Food and Wine, the very last night at the end of the night, and they were just trying to get rid of all this chocolate, so they hooked my dad up with...
Sweet.
And I don't even know how long he had chocolate for. He brought most of it home. And he did share some, too. But yeah, so they definitely are very generous with their samples, especially the last night.
Wow.
So, that was good. But you would probably like the cheese seminar.
I would like the cheese seminar. I like cheese. It's delicious.
I don't care for cheese. So you
don't like any cheese?
I don't love it.
Really?
No.
I adore cheese.
So there's cheese.
Except for American cheese, it's nasty. And that plastic Kraft crap with the wrappers on it. Oh god.
So cheese seminar is also in the festival center, which is where you'll find most of the seminars. And the festival center is, if you have ever been to Epcot, is right near Test Track, I guess is the best way, kind of.
It's been in the Old Wonders of Life Pavilion for the last a while.
Okay.
So, but I've heard various rumors of it moving elsewhere, and maybe the Odyssey building, which is near the one near Test Track, possibly becoming more of the festival center. That's where the festival center for Festival of the Arts was at.
Well, that's where it was for...
That's where it was for Flower and Garden.
Yes.
So it may have moved over there, in which case I don't know where craft beers went, because that's where craft beers has been for food and wine?
I don't know.
I call the other one food and garden, so sometimes I mix them up.
But the cheese seminar is simply what it says. It talks about cheese. It explains cheese. Does pairings. Does samples. There is an extra charge for it. It's $89 plus tax and gratuity.
It's a lot of money to spend on cheese, honestly. Like,
It
they
is.
also do, there's a cheese studio booth that we'll talk about in a minute. You can just go over there and get some cheese.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have some options.
And this seminar and the one I previously spoke about with the celebrity chefs, reservations are strongly, strongly recommended. So don't expect to show up
Right.
and be able to get in.
Now, if you're not that concerned about whether or not you get in,
Right.
and you just want it to be kind of a, well, if there's room, we'll do it. If not, then, I'm not sure if I want to spend the money to do it, or I don't know if who's going to watch the kids while we go to the seminar, or what, whatever the issue might be. This is the kind of thing that does have a high enough price point that you might find some seminars with kind of last minute availability. So, it's not quite as stressful as like making dining reservations, and you must be on the computer at 6 a.m. on your dining reservation day to get the reservations you want. Otherwise, your life is ruined. No, just kidding. It's not.
But along those lines, there are other demonstrations that are at a lower price point, which of course don't involve the celebrity chefs.
Right.
There are culinary demonstrations, which is actually something I wouldn't mind doing myself, just because I do like to cook. So that was actually only $17 plus tax, and it is a 45-minute demonstration, and you get to eat what you make. So
I've wondered this for years. What is the difference then between these $89 to $129 seminars and this one's $17?
Because
and I still get to eat the food.
I don't know.
And I'm learning how to make it, and I get to eat it.
Yeah.
Where did I lose anything?
I don't know. I'm
confused.
I guess the other one that I would be very interested in, again, along to the cooking shows, if you're familiar with ABC's show The Chew, which is a talk show / cooking show, which probably is why I like it so much, they actually do a live broadcast from October 4th through October the 6th from 9 o'clock in the morning till noon.
And they're doing that again this year?
Yes, they are.
Because I don't believe they have a booth.
I don't know, but
I didn't see a booth for them this year.
They're definitely doing the live broadcast because they had the dates listed.
Interesting.
You must have a ticket through the Choose website in order to attend this.
And you will also need a park admission to Epcot.
Exactly.
So, but your Epcot admission does not get you into or guarantee you access to
the Chew.
The Chew.
Correct.
But you can't do it without a park ticket.
Right.
So.
But and then
before we get to the booths, there was something. When I think about food, eating lots of food and drinking, I naturally think about running very long distances. Don't you?
Of course, they go hand in hand. That's exactly what I think about.
Right, Melissa? Right? Okay, so one other thing about food and wine that we want to mention is that the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, along with Wine and Dine 5K, and there's no 10K. I'm pretty sure, because I would have picked that instead of the half marathon. So it's a 5K and a half marathon. And we're spinning.
Uh-oh.
Does that mean we stopped?
Should I look?
Yeah, I'm going to check it and see. Sorry, we're just doing a quick check here and see if something... Not sure if it's the playback or the live feed.
You're going live.
We're still live? Okay.
Yeah.
Must just be the playback. No problem. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Wine and Dine Half Marathon is an event that's held the next to last weekend of the Food and Wine Festival. So a couple of different things to consider here. For one, if you want to run in the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, too bad, so sad for this year because registration's already closed and I'm sure it's full. If you want to run next year, you want to be on the Run Disney website watching to see when those dates open up so that you can get your tickets. So can you see it on playback?
Yep, I think we're good.
Okay, so it's playing back on yours but not on mine and my comments have disappeared. Interesting. Okay, so at any rate, Run Disney events in general, while they are not selling out as quickly as they used to on average, special events like Wine and Dine is pretty popular, and like Princess Half Marathon, if you're not there at noon when the registration opens on opening day, like forget it. you definitely still want to be... Oh, super.
Good.
Cool. You definitely still want to be on RunDisney.com, checking out those registration dates if that's something that's a bucket list item for you. They have moved all the races to day races, so they are all early morning now. That's kind of when I stopped running Run Disney because I was like, I don't like, no, it's Florida and it's sunny. I'm not doing it. So, at any rate, that's going to be going on. So it's the next to last weekend of the festival. It's kind of been falling that first weekend of November for a while now. If you're trying to plan around 12,000 extra people who are going to look super fit, and you feel like they're judging you while you're eating, that's the weekend you want to avoid a Food and Wine. No, just kidding. No, but if you are concerned about crowds, that's not the best weekend to try to plan your trip. It's also usually falls right around Jersey Week, which is when all the public schools in New Jersey are closed for the week, and most people use that week as a free vacation week to head down to Disney. Yes. So seriously, it feels like the entire state of New Jersey converges on Florida on Jersey Week. So,
and it's a real thing.
It really is, yeah.
Because we were down the week after Jersey Week,
yeah.
And we were at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and the fairy godmother mentioned the fact that it was Jersey Week the week before. So
yeah, it's yeah. I thought
thing.
It was fake.
I thought it was too. I thought
no.
she was just joking around,
no.
like just making conversation.
Just like the season of Brazilian tour groups in the summer is a real thing, so is Jersey Week in November.
Yes, it is. True story.
So anyway, that's just a consideration. Also, Halloween is kind of a busy time at Disney. Yeah. Columbus Day is a busy time. Labor Day really has kind of been a bastion of not all that busy. But now with the Halloween party and Food and Wine both starting before Labor Day, I think we're going to see that change. The only thing that might keep it from changing is a lot of school districts won't let you take your kids out of school at that point in the year. Like, you can't take them out for like the first week or two. Mm-hmm. But as schools around here go back the middle of July anymore. So they've been in school for 2 months by the time Food and Wine starts. Yeah. But realistically they do go back really almost mid-August. Mm-hmm. You may even be past your school district restrictions to take your kids out if you go in early September. So it might be a way to get a free day without having the crowds of Columbus Day or Veterans Day or any of the other days that your school might randomly be closed. So with that, on to the booths.
Sure.
So we'll try to skim through these pretty quick because, like I said, there are 35 of them. So the first is Active Eats. It's a brand new booth. When they say a brand new booth, the loaded mac and cheese with pepper bacon, cheddar cheese, peppers, and green onions. That exact dish was at Farm Fresh last year. So, new booth? Skeptical. There's also roasted Verlasso salmon, quinoa salad, and arugula chimichurri. And sweet avocado crema with strawberries. Yellow cake and tortilla streusel. Vegetarian options available here would be the cake. And price points here range from $375 to $550. So if that sounds appealing to you, then head over there. There are, I'm thinking, I know the wine's important to people. I know that, but honestly, when I read it on the page, to me, without being a big drinker, it looks kind of like blah, 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 blah. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher. Mm-hmm. So we're going to focus on the food portion. Yep. And the menus are available at Disney Food Blog. It's probably the best place to find them. It's disneyfoodblog.com. So give them a little plug. Let's see. Africa. We have a beef tenderloin tips, spicy Ethiopian red lentil stew with vegan yogurt and quinoa, and a spinach and paneer cheese pocket with mint Rada. You get to try new things at Food and Wine. It's cool.
You can't even pronounce them.
Right, exactly. A lot of times you can't. And they're ranging from $4 to $5.25 at this booth. So pretty good price point option relative to some of the others. The Almond Orchard we already talked about, just hosted by Blue Diamond, Almond Breeze, and everything here was made with almond milk.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really funny. My assistant at the tax office and I, we were having a conversation the other day about what in the world is almond milk? How do you get milk out of almonds? Well, we looked it up, and it's actually some sort of oil that mixes with the almonds, kind of like peanut butter. But I thought that was kind of fascinating. So that was the Colorado risotto cauliflower. The vegetable is called cauliflower. Good grief. Okay, cauliflower risotto with pulled chicken, fire roasted tomato hummus topped with Blue Diamond salt and vinegar almonds, served with Blue Diamond nut thins. That sounds amazing. And that's where the banana almond soft serve is at.
Ah,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Australia is back with the exact same menu as last year. They had grilled sweet and spicy bushberry shrimp. I can't read tonight. Grilled lamb T-bone with mint pesto and potato crunchies. That was amazing last year. That was like one of my festival favorites, hands down. And lamington, which is yellow cake dipped in chocolate and shredded coconut. I have no idea if that's good. It sounded terrible to me. So that is $3.25 to $7.50. Surely there's somebody out there that would like yellow cake plus chocolate plus coconut. And I just think that, I don't know, that combination hurts my head. Belgium. No surprise here. They have Belgian waffles.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they'll top them with berry compote or with warm chocolate ganache. So, yeah, your choice.
Both.
There's also the beer braised beef. Say that 3 times fast. With as much trouble as I'm having talking tonight. Gosh. Okay, so beer braised beef at Belgium. Skip it. Seriously, go down to France. They've got a beef bourguignon down there that will melt your socks. Like, it's amazing. Skip the Belgian beef is not great. Brazil, a little difference here this year, I think. They have I can speak a little bit of Spanish. This word's like 8 miles long. Escondidino de carne, little hidden one layered meat pie with mashed yuca. That sounds like half familiar, but half at the same time not. That might be a new dish this year. They also have the crispy pork belly returning and the pão de queijo, which is like my favorite thing from the Brazil pavilion ever. It's like soft, squishy cheese bread. It's almost like hoisin buns for Asian food, but they've got it's got cheese like in it. You're probably like, I don't know, I'm not into that. I thought it was delicious. I think I had 2 last time. So, at the Brewers Collection, as well as in Brazilians Portuguese. Oh, geez, Dee, you're right. Thanks, buddy. You really speak Portuguese in Brazil. Wow. So anyway, at the Brewers Collection, they actually have a decorated gingerbread heart.
Aww.
I'm pretty excited about this, but I'm also curious, like, what does a $7 gingerbread heart look like? Like, wow, that seems like a lot. I hope it's like a big old piece of gingerbread, and I'm
That's a good use of a snack credit.
I'm planning on, if we decide to do dining plan, I'm planning on burning some snack credits there. We're bringing home a pile of gingerbread.
That's definitely a good use of a snack credit.
They also have that at the German Pavilion. So the Brewers Collection is, I believe, is typically near the German Pavilion, but it lets you get your beverages, but they're also letting you pick up the dessert there if you're not getting hot German food. Canada is back with their same menu as they always have. They have their cheddar cheese soup and their Le Cellier wild mushroom beef fillet with truffle butter sauce.
I did actually see a post from www.info.com, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And
I'm on there all the time.
Yeah. They said they were there obviously yesterday and raved about Le Cellier's.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I've never done the fillet because I'm not a fan of mushrooms. So I was kind of like, I can go over to France and get beef. That's cool.
Very, very good report about it. So.
The cheddar cheese soup I've always found to be kind of thin. Like, I feel like cheese soup. Like, I wanted it to be a thick, hearty soup. I know you'd throw it out on the floor before you eat it.
I take cheese off pizza sometimes. So.
Oh my gosh.
True, it's true.
That's amazing. So at the Cheese Studio, speaking of Amy's favorite food, they have a braised beef stroganoff with egg noodles, a savory caramelized onion, garlic, and fine herbs cheese tart with cold arugula salad and aged balsamic, and a cheese trio. I mean, that sounds decent, but honestly, there wasn't anything on there that grabbed me as much as last year's Cheese Studio. I don't remember what we had, but I remember it being amazing. And I don't know, this just isn't striking me. The words are not jumping off the page. Like, eat food here. We'll see. China. They have the Beijing roasted duck with the bun and hoisin sauce. If you saw on my page my top 10 food and wine food items, this definitely made the cut. Yeah. The bun is like, it's squishy soft and it's so good. and hoisin sauce is basically like nectar of the gods. They also have the spicy chicken bun, black pepper shrimp with garlic noodles, and chicken pot stickers. Chicken pot stickers here last year were unbelievable.
Yum.
Also another great option. Chocolate Studio, which is different from the Ghirardelli Bean to Bar experience. The Chocolate Studio has a liquid nitro chocolate almond truffle with warm whiskey caramel. Actually, warm whiskey caramel, and that is dining plan snack credit eligible.
Ooh. That sounds good.
Yummy. They also have a sweet dark chocolate raspberry torte with whipped cream and raspberry dust. How do you make dust out of raspberries?
Maybe dry them and...
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we should have had my cousin Jen's a pastry chef. We should have had her guest star on the show. She's in Massachusetts, though, so it'd be kind of difficult.
That was fun.
Coastal Eats. I am so excited. There is an entire booth dedicated to seafood, and I can't wait.
What's that?
They have a lump crab crab cake with Napa cabbage slaw and avocado lemongrass cream.
Yum.
The baked shrimp scampi dip with sourdough baguette, and the seared scallops with roasted corn and butterbean succotash and chili chipotle butter sauce. I'll take one of each, please.
I bet you're going to do it. Well, if you're dining plan, do quick service.
I'm getting one of each. Maybe 2. Maybe 5. I might just eat there. I don't care about anything else. At Craft Beer. Oh, this is another one I got super excited about this morning. I was reading through these menus this morning, and I was like, because we were just going to breeze through Food and Wine, I was like, maybe try 1 or 2 things, because we're having breakfast that morning at Trattoria California for the character breakfast. And I thought, well, we'll just kind of sample a couple things, because it's going to be a big breakfast. We're probably going to be full. And then I looked at the Food and Wine menus, so I was like, crap. I was like, now I can't eat as much at breakfast, so I can go to the festival.
Wear your stretchy pants.
Yeah. Need my cookie pants. So, food at the craft beer tent. And I know, the people who are ordering food are holding up the line. For all of you who want beer, I'm sorry. Deal with it. They have a chilled Scotch egg wrapped in sausage with mustard sauce.
That's interesting.
I want one.
Oh.
Let's go. They have a zesty cheeseburger and cheddar cheese macaroni handwich. Cheeseburger plus mac and cheese.
Together in one.
Together in one delightful yumminess. I'm so excited. And L'Orange cotton candy. A mixture of lime and orange cotton candy. I know. This is after we sat at dinner tonight and I'm talking about how horrible pineapple cotton candy sounded with the Dole Whip cotton candy they did at Disneyland this summer. And I was like, how would, like, you take, like, it was funny because it was, like, Ben and my kryptonite. Because I love cotton candy and he loves Dole Whips. And they took them and mashed the 2 together. He hates cotton candy and I hate Dole Whips. So it was like, neither of us, like, we both were like, we want the thing, but it's terrible. And I don't want it. It's awful. The world is crumbling. So anyway, I would do this. I like lime and orange. Oh, the Chew is back with a booth. Oh, good. Okay, I missed them this morning. I was reading without my glasses this morning, so I probably didn't catch everything on the first round. So it was ricotta and zucchini ravioli with a rustic tomato sauce, a grilled beef skewer with romaine, and a peanut butter and white chocolate mousse with caramel drizzle.
Oh.
Yeah, I could eat that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like peanut butter.
The wines at this particular booth I think are worth a mention because they're apparently Kurt Russell's wines. I know, right? So, I don't know if, everybody watches, like, the cheesy old family style movies that Disney was so famous for back in the day. But if you weren't into that like I was, Kurt Russell was a major Disney star back in the day, so it's kind of really cool that he has, well, I didn't even know he had a winery, but he has wines that are at the festival. That's pretty neat. So, Farm Fresh is another place like Canada where you can't use your counter service credit because they only have 2 items, or you have to double up. But they are having a crispy chicken with griddled cornbread and red-eye gravy, and a roasted beet salad with green beans, feta cheese, -8 vinaigrette, and toasted walnuts. We had the roasted beet salad last year, and while it wasn't what I envisioned it to be, it was still pretty good. In fact, I would go so far as to say that I liked that better than the loaded mac and cheese at that same booth. Yeah, so, but I like beets, so I mean, if you hate beets, that might not be your scene.
Yeah, not a fan.
So,
not a fan of beets.
Flavors from Fire is a new booth. Yes. However, their top billed item, which is the piggy wings, actually comes from the craft beer stand last year. And I think they probably moved it to its own booth because I think that's what was backing up the beer line the worst. So the beer people were like, get out of our way. We're trying to drink. Stop eating wings. I'm like, what? Wings go with beer. What's wrong with you? They're also serving smoked corned beef and warm crispy potatoes, a sweet pancake with spicy chipotle chicken sausage. Oh, that also has onion jam and maple butter syrup. That sounds pretty good.
That sounds good, yeah.
And a chocolate picante dark chocolate mousse with a cayenne pepper, chili powder, and raspberry dust. More raspberry dust. What's up with the dusty raspberries? Wake them off. Goodness. Clean up in here. France. I'm going to read you the English version.
Please.
I don't speak of the French so well. So, warm goat cheese pudding with spinach. I know, it sounds amazing. Escargot with garlic and parsley. I can't. I just can't. I know it's great, whatever, blah, blah, something, something. I can't. Can't do it. Beef bourguignon. Beef bourguignon in France has, in the past, been phenomenal. Definitely worth the stop. Definitely worth the fact that that booth's always got a line. There's a reason. Just get in line. It's fine. And a creme brulee with house-made raspberry jam. Raspberry is like the flavor of the festival this year.
It's like everywhere.
I know. I love raspberry, but I feel bad for the people who are like, oh, raspberry, seriously? Because that's how I'd be if all this stuff was pineapple. Yeah, I'd be like, get this crap out of my food. What are you doing? Germany. Pasta gratin with ham and cheese. I have to try it on the... You're going to hold me down and make me try it, aren't you? Pasta gratin with ham and cheese in Germany, roast bratwurst in a pretzel roll, apple strudel with vanilla sauce, and this is the decorated gingerbread heart, the other option. Oh, okay. Decorated gingerbread heart is new as far as I can recall, because I would have eaten it before if it was there. Everything else there is been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. To be honest, for me, the Germany and Italy booths, don't bother.
No?
Don't
Italy?
bother. Italy's horrible.
Oh.
The last 2 years, Italy has been... It's like Stouffer's frozen lasagna.
No.
Yes. It's like, I feel like they just chucked it in the microwave and then set it out on a plate.
That's sad.
Yes. Oh, yes, you're holding me down and making me eat escargot. Oh, okay. I'll just get mentally prepared for that, OLD. Yeah, very disappointing. Because the food in Italy at the restaurants is so good, and I feel like they're just kind of like, oh, we have to make the festival booth? We have the food inside. Come eat it in the restaurant. Don't put it out in the sun where the peasants are at. You know, it's kind of the feeling I get. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, we have to do this. We don't feel like it. And Germany, honestly, kind of the same way. The 2 or 3 years ago, the bratwurst there was unbelievable. And we went back and tried it the following year because it had been so good the year before. And it was awful. Not even like, oh, this is just shades of its former glory. I mean, it was like straight up like, I didn't even want to eat the rest of it. So, those are two that I'm kind of like, just skip it. It's not worth your time. If you've got one day, those are not your booths. If you've got multiple days, try everything. Greece is one of my favorites. I love Greece. Greece has awesome food. Worth it. Do they have a pizza window? Miss, I feel like I saw that, and
There's a pizza window.
Yeah, I was reading something about a pizza window this morning. I'm not sure if it was Food and Wine or if it was a different article.
There's a pizza window at oh my gosh, the Italian restaurant. Via Napoli. There's a pizza window there. I know for sure because we saw it last year.
Right. That might be it. I feel like I read something about it this morning.
You can walk up and just get pizza at that particular pizza window.
When we get there. It might be just under pizza window in its own. So Greece, loaded Greek nacho pita chips, meatless sausage crumbles, and vegan tzatziki. No. Taste of Greece. I was kind of excited about this one. Stuffed grape leaves with lemon dill sauce, grilled octopus, and feta cheese dip with warm pita. Spanakopita is back. Their spanakopita is great. I love it. It's wonderful. It's spinach in dough. It's like a spinach hot pocket. But if hot pockets were good.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. There's a warm phyllo dough strudel with sweet vanilla custard, lemon honey syrup, and cinnamon. That is from last year too. They used to have this griddled Greek goat what can I substitute for the word cheese that'll make you like understand how good it was? Chocolate? Can we call
Okay,
it?
we'll
Okay,
go
goat
back.
chocolate. They had pistachio and honey and almonds crumbled on top of it. It was my festival favorite like 3 years running. And they took it away 2 years ago. Same thing with Scotland. They used to have this amazing sea scallop that was on this this bed of spinach. It was like a creamy spinach. The spinach was actually better than the scallop. And
Whoa!
I know, I love scallops, so it was like this was a feat. But Scotland achieved it.
Nice.
Scotland is my hero. Okay, that was Greece. Hawaii, the Kahlua pork slider is back. The grilled tuna tataki with seaweed salad. I don't recall that from last year. That might be a new one. Teriyaki glazed spam hashed with potatoes, peppers, onions, and spicy mayonnaise. I'm sorry, if it has spam in it, why is it at my food and wine festival?
I felt like because since it had like the name of actual spam, I'm just wondering if it was a sponsor. Because
maybe
that's
maybe is spam big in Hawaii? Like I feel like I've heard that
yes.
spam is like a big Hawaiian
and I think
deal.
the word Hormel was also used in there because Hormel is who makes spam, and so I feel like they might be a sponsor of some sort. That's just a guess, but.
Run down the top 10. Yes, it's on my page, and they're from, some of them are from previous years, my top 10 for food and wine. For this one, we'll see. Let me see. Let me think when we get to the end. I don't know if I can categorize them that fast in my head. Where are we? They also have a passion fruit cheesecake with toasted macadamia nuts in Hawaii. They have gotten rid of the tuna poke. That was big for a while. That was like a... what's the word for like raw but not raw? Like a smoked tuna on a stick. It was actually really good. Especially since Princess Cruise Line ruined smoked salmon for me for forever. So yes. It was nice to have another option.
Spam is huge in Hawaii.
Okay, super, thanks. Food, hops and barley. This is over at the American Adventure Pavilion. This is another one. Honestly, I often skip it because, well, first of all, it's American food. I can get American food at any restaurant in America. I live here. I don't need to, it's kind of like how I feel about going to the pavilion. Like, I live here. I don't need to go. Right. I'm good. But anyway, they have New England lobster roll. I will say, we tried it 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, and it was awful. It's probably one of the worst things I had at the festival. Last year it was passable. It's like, you can't beat New England lobster roll outside of New England. Like, you just can't. Mm-hmm. Go to New England and eat a real lobster roll. Skip this. Get something better. Smoked beef brisket with pimento cheese served on griddled garlic toast, freshly baked carrot cake, and cream cheese icing. I'm just excited. I'm not excited about it, but you might be, so go. Enjoy. India, new booth this year. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty excited about, well, anytime it's new. It's always like, well, what is it? What's going on? Warm Indian bread with pickled garlic, mango salsa, coriander pesto dips. They also have a Madras red curry with roasted cauliflower, baby carrots, chickpeas, and basmati rice, and a korma chicken with cucumber tomato salad, almonds, cashews, and warm naan bread. Oh, naan bread. Mm-hmm. And a pistachio cardamom bundt cake with chocolate coconut mousse. I'm kind of excited. I was excited about that, honestly, till I saw the picture. Did you see the picture of that one?
Well, I may have, but...
It's a pistachio bundt cake. So the cake is green.
Oh, yes, I did.
Because it's pistachio. Yeah, and then they have the chocolate mousse on top. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I could do that purple food restaurant faster than I could eat green cake.
Yeah. I can eat green.
I don't know if my eyes will let it happen.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
If it's not supposed to be green.
Right. I was kind of excited, like pistachio, chocolate, coconut. Like, yeah, I like those things. Let's slam them together. It sounds great. But Intermission Cafe has a random assortment of things that you can find anywhere. That's at the festival center, which I never really understand why that. I guess it's over there in case you get hungry while you're standing there. But go out to the festival and eat the real stuff. Don't go to the Intermissions Cafe. Ireland, roasted sausage with Colcannon potatoes and onion gravy. I believe that is a new dish. I don't recall that from before. Warm Irish cheddar cheese and stout dip with Irish brown bread. Oh, I think that's new too. And warm chocolate pudding with Irish cream liqueur custard. Another place where you can get a little bit of alcohol for your Disney Dining Plan snack credit. I I hope they're better than Ireland used to be. They used to have a lobster shepherd's pie that was awful.
Oh.
They used to have a cheese plate that was terrible. They used to have... we went to Ireland one year and I got everything on the menu because I thought it sounded so good. And it was just a complete and total bust. It was not my favorite. So I'm excited to see that they changed up their menu. Hopefully it will improve. Islands of the Caribbean, which was a new booth last year. Jamaican beef patty with mango salsa, mojo pork with black beans, cilantro, rice, and pickled red onions, and quesito, puff pastry with sweetened cream cheese and guava sauce. I don't know. I thought it was a decent spot last year. I wouldn't run back, but it was solid. It was interesting. Italy, skip it, but it's got crispy calamari, beef stew with parmesan, creamy polenta, absolute penne with vodka sauce with shrimp, and chocolate-covered cannoli filled with sweet ricotta cheese. Go somewhere else. Japan, wasabi, shumi steamed pork dumplings. Okay. This is one that got me. Salmon BLT.
Oh.
Sushi roll.
Oh.
I'm in. Let's go.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And teriyaki ginger pork. It's like, wow, take 3 things that are delicious, put them together. You can't lose. New.
They need frushi all year round. Though.
They do need frushi.
I'm just gonna say they need
really
frushi
do.
all year.
Frushi's just amazing. Okay. So there's a new place called the Light Lab. This is a new booth. Did you see this?
With the donut?
Yeah.
The
glow nut.
Yeah, the glow nut. The donut.
What?
Yeah.
Why am I eating a thing that's glowing? Is it radioactive? Glow nut? Are you kidding?
What if it was a crow nut? A grow nut.
A grow nut. It doesn't say, it doesn't say if the teriyaki ginger pork is over rice or not. Hopefully. It's $8.25, so I hope there's some rice on there, because if it's just a couple pieces of ginger pork, I'd feel a little sad about that. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yes.
This one is more beverage heavy than it is food. It has about 16 different beverages, which I guess is where the glowing comes from. They probably have the glowy ice cube things in most of them, and I've been thinking things like that. Yeah. This is one of those, to me, as I'm walking through the festival, this is one of those, that's just one of those booths that takes up space. Hang on, where's the food? So, Mexico.
Ooh.
Ribeye taco, marinated ribeye, roasted chipotle sauce, and grilled scallions on a corn tortilla.
Ooh.
Tequila chipotle shrimp served on a black bean huarache garnished with red and green cabbage, queso fresco, and crema mexicana. And cajeta mousse served with cajeta sauce and white chocolate flakes. I'm not sure what cajeta is. So that'll be interesting. But the offerings at the Mexico Pavilion very much mixed up from last year. Very much. Dee's gonna try the glow nut. Okay, I want to see pictures, videos, everything. I want to see you eating this glow nut. I'm really. When do you guys go? I'm pretty excited to see the reviews. The food in Morocco. Kefka pocket, seasoned ground beef in a pita pocket, spicy hummus fries with cucumber, tomato, onions, and tzatziki sauce, and chocolate baklava. Oh. Yeah, the chocolate baklava was pretty good last year.
That sounds good.
I wasn't a fan of the hummus fries. Ben loved them. He thought they were fantastic. So, once again, I mean, it's all subjective. You might go to Italy and think it's fabulous. You might go to Germany and think it's fabulous. You're like, oh my god, that chick doesn't know what she's talking about, whatever. Oh, good. You're there before us. So I see the reviews. I want to see that. I want to see pics.
Let's have your teeth glow afterwards.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what do they put in it? I'm so scared.
Like, does your mouth glow after eating
Does your stomach glow? What are you swallowing? Like, what is it? It's like the scene in The Dark Knight where the guy swallows the cell phone and you can see that his stomach lights up when it rings. And it scares me. New Zealand has the lamb meatball with spicy tomato chutney. That is back from last year. I remember the tomato chutney being good. I think the meatball I remember being a little bit like, yeah, okay, it was good. It was a meatball, but it wasn't like there wasn't any sauce on it, so it was kind of it was a little dry. Yeah.
My meatballs have that sauce.
Yeah, they also have the steamed green lip mussel is back this year. Eating snails. Good point. Good point, buddy. The green lip mussel is back this year. I thought that was better than I expected. I'm a fan of mussels. Do you
No.
mussels? Not so much?
No.
Okay. I had avoided this for a couple years because of the it's a garlic mussel, and I'm really I hate garlic.
Oh.
I'm I don't really eat Italian food, and that's probably why I don't like the Italian booth, because I'm anti-garlic in all forms. So there was this garlic restaurant in San Francisco, and I took pains to walk out around it. I didn't want to get anywhere close to being able to smell it. But
That's not it's good for you.
oh god, I just can't. I'm trying to work little bits of it in as we're cooking, and I just it's hard. It's really hard. Anyway, even with the garlic butter, the mussel was really good. I was surprised. Also, they had the seared venison loin with wild mushroom marsala sauce, and it's garlic butter escargot. Yes. Patagonia has the beef empanada and the grilled beef skewer with chimichurri. Beef empanada was Ben's festival favorite 2 years ago. So once again, you can't tell quality from day to day, much less from year to year. But when these booths are bringing back the same dishes over and over again,
that'd be a favorite.
It's pretty tried and true. I mean, they're definitely bringing them back for a reason. So he was a huge fan. I liked the beef empanada. I'm not the biggest fan of ground beef. I prefer, if I'm going to have an empanada, I'd rather have a chicken than a beef. But it was very good. It's the pocket was nice, the flavors were good, etc. Refreshment Cool Post. Yeah, no one cares. Spicy hot dog. It does have kimchi and mustard sauce, and I think South Korea is now absent. So if you enjoyed the kimchi hot dogs in the past, you've got to get them at the refreshment port now. Also at the refreshment port. Wait, that wasn't refreshment port, was it? Refreshment Cool Post, out by Africa. Refreshment Port is where the croissant donut is located, which is definitely a festival favorite for people. They have fried chicken breast nuggets with dull pineapple sweet and sour sauce. Oh,
that sounds delicious.
Oh, that sounds awful.
I think it sounds delicious.
How do we ever eat together?
I don't know.
We wouldn't eat any of the same things.
I hate cheese, you love cheese. I love pineapple, you hate pineapple. I don't know. I don't get it.
They also have the pineapple Dole Whip soft serve. It is also back with coconut rum. The alcoholic version, however, is not snack plan eligible. So if you're having a regular Dole Whip snack plan, yay. If you're having a boozy Dole Whip snack plan, nay. So, your choice. There's also a Dragonberry refresher featuring Bacardi Dragonberry rum. I think that sounds much better than a Dole Whip.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Scotland. My scallop's not back. 2 years in a row. Scallop, you let me down. Single cheer. Traditional Scottish lamb stew. Fresh potato pancake with smoked salmon. And the Tipsy Laird, which is a whiskey-soaked cake with lemon, cream, and toasted oats. Okay. I'm sorry, since the scallop's gone away, Scotland's dead to me. I can't go over there, because the memory of the deliciousness is just destroyed. Spain is a new addition this year. I was pretty excited to see Spain. So I'm not really that excited about the offerings, but I'm glad they're here, because maybe they'll stay and maybe the things will change. They're starting off with charcuterie in a cone, which is a selection of imported Spanish meats, cheeses, olives, and herb vinaigrette. Oh, I can't. See, I don't think either of us are going to eat that, right? That's just that's canceled. No.
Next.
There's a traditional Spanish paella with shrimp, mussels, chicken, and crispy chorizo. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Seafood salad with shrimp, bay scallops, and mussels, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and smoked paprika. Maybe. I might try it, just because it's new. Mm-hmm. And then a sweet olive oil cake with powdered sugar and lemon curd. I don't know. Well, Spain is about ham. Really? Huh. Yeah, I could do the paella. I could do the paella and maybe the seafood salad, depending on... It's going to be cold. I don't know about cold mussels.
Ugh.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Amy's just completely grossed out.
Yeah.
But it's about trying new things. This food wine's about trying new things. Thailand is newly returning. So Thailand's been absent for a while, coming back. I was excited about this, except that they don't have any dessert on the menu. And my all-time favorite dessert is Thai sticky rice. So I was really hoping for sticky rice, and no, sadly. But they do have marinated chicken with peanut sauce and stir-fried vegetables, because would it be Thai food without peanut sauce? No. I mean, come on. They also have a seared shrimp and scallop cake with cold noodle salad. I'd eat that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Red hot spicy Thai curry beef with steamed rice.
That sounds good, too.
Yeah. We could go there.
Yeah.
We can go to Thailand.
I like Thailand.
Cool. All right.
Thailand sounds good.
In Madrid. They have a museum for ham in Madrid. That's amazing. That's pretty awesome. Thanks, Melissa. Wow. Huh. I'm distracted now. I'm thinking about olive oil in Spain. 2017 Wine and Dine Studio. Food. They have the pulled duck confit with cannellini bean ragu and Zinfandel reduction. I don't even know what all those words mean.
Duck feet, so.
Duck confit.
Oh.
No, not feet of duck. No, confit. Not. Yeah, it's normal duck. Normal duck. It's fine. Seared scallops, truffled celery root puree, Brussels sprouts, and wild mushrooms. Can we just have the scallop? I don't think I need the other things. And then they have a trio of artisan cheeses, and an artist palette of cheese and wine. The artist palette of cheese and wine is the only item listed under food that's not eligible for anything on the dining plan. As far as I could tell, I didn't see anything else that was missing from the plan. And additional festival locations, they'd have Block and Hans, the Fife and Drum Tavern, Joffrey's Teas and Coffees, and the Chocolate Experience, of course. So, that is... Yeah, those are other drinks that are at the thing. I don't know, what out of that list sounded exciting?
I think Thailand sounded like I would definitely give more than one thing a try there, for sure. And it's definitely, I would never go to a Thai restaurant just because I don't think my whole entire family would eat there. So, which again is something...
is a great reason to try them at Food and Wine.
Because you can get something at one marketplace, anybody else in your party can get something at the next marketplace, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to all sit down at the same restaurant and
somebody figure out something on the menu that they can live with.
Right. And you don't have to sacrifice something that you like in order to,
and sometimes
somebody with you. So.
Sometimes something will sound good to one person and sound terrible to another person. But when it actually comes out and you see it and you smell it, you're like, that actually looks good. What is that thing called again?
Yeah.
Especially for kids. I know a lot of people decide not to take their kids to Food and Wine. I think it's an awesome place to take your kids because
to try new things.
Even if they won't eat everything, or even if they won't try everything, it's a really good way to try to expand their palate a little bit and get them to eat something besides chicken nuggets and French fries and macaroni and cheese.
Right. And another option too is to share. If we would go to Food and Wine together, I could see us just.
We would have a problem because we'd be eating opposite things.
Yeah. But I mean, if we liked things. Maybe I would explore more options if you would say, hey, you've got to try this, and I would try just a bite of it. And I'm like, I would definitely get that again. Or, something like that. So.
And there will be things that sound amazing, and you'll get there, and you'll try them, and you'll be like, this is awful.
So aren't you glad you don't have a whole meal?
Exactly. You paid $4 for it instead of $40. So.
Exactly.
I think probably the biggest example of that for me was the deconstructed sweet potato pie at Festival of the Arts last year.
Oh,
or actually earlier this year. What year is it?
It was this year.
Yeah. It sounds great, right?
You didn't care for
it? It's terrible.
Oh.
I was really, and I was trying to like every bite I took, I was trying to like it. And I was like, it tastes bland and sandy. And it just wasn't anything that I had imagined. It was actually the thing I saw, it was the picture I saw that I was like, I want to go to that festival. Isn't that stupid? It was a piece of sweet potato pie. but it was purple, and it was drizzled with some sort of sauce, and there was a little hole cut out of it, and it was very artistically plated, and I was like, I want it. I want to try the thing. And that was kind of like the tipping point to where I really started to look at whether or not we could make that weekend happen. And once I realized we could, I was like, I'm getting the sweet potato pie. I was excited, you know? And then I got there and tried it, and it was just, there were so many other great things, and I'm so glad that we went because we got to experience other things that were amazing, but, like, any trip that you take, it's hardly ever the thing that you're like, this is, like, I'm excited about this thing. Usually that thing turns out to be, like, okay, that was interesting, I'm glad we tried it.
Right.
And something else will be like, oh, this was the amazing part of my trip.
Right.
So I think that's another, and this is totally not food and wine related, but another good thing to keep in mind when you can't get that this is my must-have dining reservation, my trip is ruined without it. No, it's not. It is absolutely not. And we hear that, I need sweet potatoes. It was okay, they were purple. You couldn't tell they were sweet potatoes. They didn't even taste like sweet potatoes. They tasted strange. But we hear it a lot with Cinderella's Royal Table that, oh, we really have to eat in the castle. Seriously, don't. Like, enjoy your trip. Like, take it as it comes. Like, make a reservation or two. Especially if you have the dining plan. Make a reservation to get the most out of your credits. But let it just happen. Like, go and eyes wide open and just see everything. Like, put your phone away, except when you have to check your FastPass time. And just be present in the moment with whoever you're traveling with. And it's so much more fun that way.
And along those lines too, I know before we went as a family for the very, very first time, I had to get it through my thick head that you will not see and do, eat, drink everything on Disney property.
And it'll be okay.
Probably within the first 7 to 10 trips to Disney World, you won't be able to accomplish that. So just know that, especially if this is your first time, just do exactly what Holly said and just enjoy it. Make the magical memories that Disney offers to you and your family. It's truly a magical place.
Yep.
So.
We hear a lot too that I want to do everything because we're only going to be able to go one time.
Yeah.
It's okay to not do everything.
It's not even humanly possible.
Right. Oh yeah, you'd have to stay for 6 months. Like
it's not humanly possible.
There are 145 table service restaurants. You can't possibly do it on a 7-day trip.
And I think it's up to 398 total restaurants
oh my gosh.
on Disney property.
So you have to go for 6 months. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. If you to visit every single table service snack.
There are 46 ride-on attractions before the new stuff starts opening. There are YouTube videos out there of people who have done them all in one day. Guess what? These are people who have been to Disney World 6 million times and they were just bored. And they thought, let's play a game. Let's see, can I ride all the attractions in one day?
Right.
If you try to do that with your family, everyone will hate you.
Right, exactly.
Don't do it. Just don't. Take your time and see 3/4 of a park. But see it.
Yep. Don't
spend your time just rushing to and from. Because we've done it. I don't know if you have or not. I've done the rush to and from.
No.
I've done we're going to see this. The average waiting time is this. This is how much time the ride takes. This is how long it'll take to walk to the next thing. I've done it.
Well, actually, I lie, because when I went by myself...
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to eat dinner. I was like, okay, we're going to... Okay, I'm getting in line for this. And that was okay, because I was by myself.
Right.
And
it's, like... That's one of those things, like, it's kind of fun to do it, like, now and then.
Yeah.
But if it's your only trip, like, make some memories on the trip. Don't make your memory, like, what's next on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. And that, I think, especially comes into play even when with fireworks, like, for our family, being as late as they can be.
Yeah.
To be honest, Olivia's never actually seen the fireworks up close and personal. Partly because... she's a little sound sensitive, so it wasn't really in our plan anyway. But it gets very late, extremely late. So then the next morning becomes a little bit more not so fun.
Yeah.
So
less than magical.
I personally would rather have a happy child and well-rested child for the next full day. That I'm okay with not seeing the fireworks if I can't. Like that's okay, because if I do spend 15 minutes at the fireworks, my entire next day is probably going to be shot.
Right.
So you kind of gotta
take it's beautiful, but you know what? You can see what it looks like online without actually standing in front of it, and sometimes that has to be enough for now.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't ever go back, and
Exactly.
you might not see that specific show, but you might see something that touches your heart more, and that's what it's really all about. So, with that, we probably ought to move out to tonight's fun fact, because we've got to be at about 3% battery by now. So, there are a lot of places that are said to be inspirations for Walt Disney World, and one of the most common is the carousel at Griffith Park. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do. I will say we do rope drop.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not a waiter in liner, and we'd like go early, then we take a nap, and then we go back. And sometimes I'm like going full blast, and I'm like, I don't feel like napping today. Like, I'm just having fun, you know. But yeah,
I definitely feel like you can get more accomplished earlier you go.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's logistically. But.
Yeah. Especially if meet and greets are something.
Yeah.
That's on your must-do priority list.
Right.
Rope drops, I feel is...
Yeah, and we do commando style when it's just two of us sometimes, but yeah, if we're with other people, we'll usually... Yeah. We just kind of like kick back and chill a little bit more, yep. So... But anyway, the inspirations for Disney parks, like I said, Griffith Park Carousel is usually highlighted as being the Disneyland inspiration, but as I actually learned recently, Walt Disney had a lot of inspirations for his park. One of which was Greenfield Village in Dearborn, Michigan, which, if you haven't been, is a little Revolutionary War village near the Henry Ford Museum. And it's actually part of the Henry Ford Museum complex. And they have, it's like a little village. You can walk through it, and they have like the Wright Brothers bicycle shop, and they have Thomas Edison's laboratory, and they do a little Revolutionary War reenactment, and I think George Washington comes out and like addresses the troops or something of this nature. We went when I was like 11, and I had no idea at the time. It was really weird because we went the year after we went to Disney, and my parents, I'm sure they have no idea that there's a connection, but it just happened to be a freak of nature that this happened. But honestly, like as a kid, like I remember I was as enamored with that village, if not more, than I was with Disney World. And actually, when we went there, I was like, wouldn't it be cool to create like a little village like this, like in Vermont? Like I had this obsession with moving to Vermont when I was a kid because I liked the snow. And I thought it would be a really cool place to have a little village like this. But anyway, this was actually, as I learned the other week, one of the inspirations for Disneyland. Walt Disney visited Greenfield Village in Dearborn, and they have a train that goes around it, and that was actually where he came up, allegedly, where he came up with the idea of having a train encircling his park. Huh, so, that's really cool. Yeah, I know. When I read it, I was, like, just having been there, I was like, oh my gosh, like Greenfield Village. I had no idea it played such an important role in Disney history. So, that's our little fun fact of the evening. And we will be back next week with some talk about Halloween on the high seas. So we'll be back to some cruising topics momentarily. Actually, we'll be back cruising for the next 3 weeks. We've got Halloween on the high seas next week. And then Ben and I will be in Boston/Canada the next 2 weeks. And we will, I think we're going to pre-record shows because they're not going to be related to what we're doing in Boston. We're going to be on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Actually, I guess one of them is about Royal Caribbean. But I think we're going to pre-record those shows just so we don't run into the same Wi-Fi signal issues that we had before. And I'm not sure because we're going to be in Canada on the one Friday, and I don't want to run into an issue with being able to, I don't want to use data and be outside the U.S. So just for my own financial well-being, we're going to probably pre-record those. So, and then I have no idea what we're doing the week we get back. I haven't looked that far ahead on the schedule. So anyway, a little bit of cruising coming up the next couple weeks, and then we'll be back with, I'm sure it's a world-related topic after that. Sounds good. So. Well, thanks everybody for
and I just wanted to do a special shout out to my Poncho families in Texas. We met some dear people in Disney World. Disney always brings people together, and I've met about 5 or so families living in Texas. And so love you guys, and hope you all are safe.
Staying dry.
Yes, please stay safe.
Yeah. Ponchos on.
Yes.
All right,
guys.
Till next week, guys. Thanks
Bye.
for watching.